Hi everyone, welcome. Thank you for being here. I am Natasha Bray. I'm a success mastery coach, a master healer, and I am the founder of the School of Healing Mastery, where I teach my very powerful heart healing certification. So I'm really excited to be here today with the lovely Carly Boyle. Carly is actually a primary school teacher, and she is now the first heart healing practitioner in Northern Ireland, which is amazing. She's just recently passed her level 1 in heart healing, which is the core foundational tools. So she's ready to get out there now and start selling and practicing in her new business. So Carly, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and congratulations as well for passing level 1. It's a really key moment in the course where now you get to start putting yourself out there. Obviously, you've done lots of practice already, but now you get to start selling it
No,
as well.
it's real.
Yeah. There's no going back now.
Nope.
So, first of all, I think it'd be really lovely, as you are someone new to business, obviously being in teaching, and I used to be a social worker, so we all have our previous profession before we come into this work. But it'd be lovely, actually, to hear a bit about what made you decide to get involved with heart healing.
So I suppose if I go right back to the beginning, my journey of spirituality has probably been one of about 10 years unfolding. Like I would say over the last decade, and I wanted to do more with my life. So I went back to university to become a teacher. And I just felt like there was more to life. But as I started my journey as a primary school teacher, I'm one of these people that's like, if there was like more time on earth, I'd love to try this and I'd love to do that. And one of the things that I always felt this burning desire to do was to have some kind of like counseling practice or self-help. So I knew that was always in there. And my friends are always saying like, how do you just meet people and like suddenly you know their whole life story? I'll be at the park with my little boy and people are talking about their coffee and I'm like, how's your relationship with your father? It was just such a natural thing. My mom's like, will you stop asking people? I was just always that curious type of person that wanted to know, that wanted to join the dots and to be able to help people. So the desire was always kind of like sitting there, but I thought, well, you'll have to like stop what you're doing to be able to go into something like this. You'll have to go back into education and put your career on hold. And there was just never a right time to do all of that. And then I was part of a self-help book where I was just talking about different steps that I had taken, just like my own journey in healing. And after that book, I realized so many people were looking towards me for guidance. And I was like, actually, I don't have anything tangible that I can help you with. I need to go and find something that is like special and that I truly believe in. And that's when I kind of just sat and paused for a while because I didn't want to jump on the back of any just modality because there's so much out there. There's so much already in Northern Ireland. And for me, I had to find something because I'm a very spiritual person that had to link in spirituality and also inner child work because that is so like massive and integral part of my healing. And heart healing was just something that kind of encompassed everything that I believe in. And because I'm working with children as well, it all kind of just flowed together. And there was just this sense of knowing, right, that's the right one.
Yeah. And I think it's really important you mentioned that as well. We all usually people called to train in healing is because they've had their own healing journey, that has like they've experienced the power of personal healing and transformation. And that is such a genuine foundation for then going into and bring it into the world in a professional way as well.
Absolutely. And I saw this thing yesterday and I was like, yep, that's me. And it was saying, how did you get into certain types of therapy? And the answer was like, well, what do you mean as a client or as a practitioner? Because both answers are the same. I saw generational problems and I wanted to change it. And it's the
Yeah.
same, like for me, it's like I've been there. I know what it feels like to come out the other side. And you're just like looking at people being like, but I know you can do this too.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And so you've been in there a few months now. It is a year-long program. So
Yeah.
this is one of the key milestones, passing level 1 and being able to go out there and start selling it. And I know you've only just passed level 1 as well, but you said that you'd already got 2 new clients, your first clients lined up.
Yeah, already I put an offer out for July. I would take on like 7 clients just and as a start, as a launch, like introductory package. And I already have 2 people that have said, yes, count me in. I have stuff I want to deal with and that I've already kind of built a trust with over Instagram. Because although I've had no previous training and haven't been able to work with anybody, I've been just kind of building up that rapport over the last couple of years of just putting myself out there and sharing my own journey. So by the time I became a heart healing practitioner, people were already trusting that, yeah.
So you were building your personal brand in advance.
I didn't even realize I was doing that. I was just having fun, and then I was like, okay, yeah, that was worthwhile.
So in the certification, it's a bit more than a certification, of course. You get your personal healing in there, but there's a bit of business trainings and how to either start or evolve a business if you already have one when you come in. And obviously then the certifications and the skills as well. So can you tell me a little bit about just your experience of going through all of that?
I have just really enjoyed it. And I wouldn't say even been able to get like the full benefit because I have been working full time and haven't joined everything live. Which of course it's lovely to watch it back on replay and that's always available. But when you're listening to the conversations on replay, you're like, oh, I would have liked to expand on that more in that moment. So I would say the certification is brilliant because like in school when I teach kids, it's a certification that kind of it suits all learning types because you're either there in person talking face to face, you can go away and watch video material, and there's notes on the videos, you've got your PDFs. So you know that's, I would say, like a really, really good thing with heart healing. It's not just this is how it's taught, and if you don't learn like that, well, that's not good. You're going to have to just pull it up. It's great that anybody with any learning style can just sit down and get what they need from it. So I've really enjoyed it, and I feel like I know people. I know their voices more than I know them to see, because sometimes I'll be listening to things while I'm making dinner or doing stuff. It's like you feel like people are in the room. I'd also say that like everybody, Kirsty and yourself, everybody is so good at answering questions and like really quick responses. And even when people feel like I felt, oh my goodness, this is a really daft question, I'm sure this is somewhere and has been answered 10 times before, like that's always fine. And that's a really safe place when you just feel like it doesn't matter what I ask, it's not rejected, it's not like sighed upon, it's just a really safe place to be. And that energy just like flows through it, which is lovely.
Yeah, thank you for saying that, because we do try to, safety is one of our biggest values and foundations. It is a big, important thing in heart healing, the modality itself, of course. So it's great that our clients also feel safe in that experience as well. Yeah. And what changes then have you noticed in you? And I know you've done a lot of practice sessions as well. So tell us a little bit about, first of all, what changes you've noticed in yourself, and then a little bit about how you've found working with others using heart healing.
So in myself, it's like rather than changes I see, it's definitely changes I feel. Like I would have been quite, I don't want to say frantic. I'm always like doing something and trying to do a million things in one time, but I just feel very calm inside. So it's like I'm still busy, I'm still productive, but I have this like ability to just enjoy time on my own and to just say, right, enough's enough for today, and like take real peace and comfort in that. And just trusting my gut more. I feel like, not my gut though. I was thinking about this yesterday about what's changed, because sometimes when you're living your life, it's hard to know because it's not until you look back. But it's like a little whisper of knowing sometimes, you know, like you've got like gut instinct. Like I always felt that because I would have been somebody with anxiety. But it's more like just this little whisper that you hear from your heart that you just suddenly become in tune with, and you're like, oh, yeah, that's different. You know, I just feel like I should do this or I shouldn't do that. And it's just a more gentle feeling, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rather than a busy answer from your mind or a strong gut feeling. It's just like this little peaceful knowing.
Yeah. Yeah. So, so what I'm hearing from you then is you feel like calmer inside, not always feeling that need to constantly be on the go and busy and distracting ourselves. Usually that is from perhaps inside the like, feelings that might be unresolved that we work through with heart healing. And like more of a sense of trust and knowing.
Yeah, in myself, and just being able to listen to my own intuition. I
love that. And just to make clear to anyone listening, we've only worked on one heart wound so far.
Yeah.
So for this transformation to already be there, we haven't even worked through, like there's 4 others that we're going to be doing.
I know. It's exciting. And I get excited about every session because once you know the transformation it has, it's like, yes, I can do this.
And you know, without going into anything that you don't want to share, like too personal in terms of details, what has changed in terms of like relationships and things? Or
well, my mom, so like we've always had a relationship, but it was a bit, I mean, it's always been challenging, let's just say. But one of the things that I always struggled with is that she wouldn't take my little boy a lot, and like she was not very helpful that way because she's not well herself. But anyway, from heart healing, I just felt a whole shift in the dynamic of our relationship. She's more open to taking Noah. It's like more of a family that never really felt like it was there. And the change is in her too. But I fully believe it's like that whole energetic shift where I don't know if she's just sensing it from me. Like it's one of those things you can't really cognitively work it out. It's just different.
Yeah, no, I love that. So what we call the mother wound then, which, you know, a lot of heart wounds, whether intentional or not, they often link back to our parents or any other close relative or caregiver in our lives. But as I always say, change in you can create change in another person. Also through heart healing, the impact is generational because a lot of our wounds are often the wounds of the ones before us that were handed down, you know. So heart healing and the impact of healing is multi-generational. It works, it affects who came before us and also our children who comes after us as well as ourselves. So it's really great that you experienced that.
Yeah, it is. Heart healing is something, if I think too hard about it, it just kind of blows my mind a little bit. I'm like, I can't think, it's not something you can think too much about because you're like, huh?
I struggle fully explaining the power of it. And I'm like a master marketer and a salesperson. And even now I'm like, I can't even fully explain it with words, like how it works and how powerful it is. I try my best. I'm doing okay with it, but also it's something you have to experience rather than hear about, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so I love that. And it is, you know, when triggers of ours are removed, we don't respond in the same way to others as we might have been when the wound is very triggered. And then obviously when how we respond to things changes, other people soften and change in their responses too.
Yeah. And I would say that's something actually, you know, is another thing that's really been interesting on my healing journey would be that, I mean, as a child, I experienced abuse. And it's funny, you think that in your sessions, that will be the person that will constantly come up. Because you, as you say, when you try to cognitively comprehend things, you go from A to B, and it's like, but when you go with a heart, it's actually not the person always that you expect. It's like the one that didn't keep you safe. And you're like, oh, that's why I've never been able to heal, because I've been directing my anger or whatever I've been feeling in the wrong place.
Yeah, yeah.
And all types of counseling went straight for that source.
Yeah. It's fascinating in a way. So, and I'm, you know, obviously I know about that, and I'm sorry to hear that, you know, you went through abuse. And I think that's, you know, where heart healing was born from. My own experience of the very hidden wound around my own healing around my mother, myself, you know, and also similar to you, I was abused in childhood by somebody else, and these hidden wounds unlock almost more healing than healing from the abuser themselves. It's really not what you'd expect. Yeah.
Not at all. I know.
And that's, you know, I guess the beauty of heart healing as well is that it bypasses the mind and what we think the issue is and was. Really connects to the hidden stuff that we didn't know was causing us to sabotage, or, you know, not struggle in relationships, or struggle to have more success and receive more love from people. And gets to the heart of the issue, as I like to say.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So I know you've done a lot of healing. You said, like you mentioned, counseling as well. And I really believe every modality has its value and is suitable for different people at different points of their journey. But what would you say is different for you about heart healing compared to the other things you might have experienced?
Oh, I can describe it in an image, and you've probably seen the meme that goes around, and it's like this small letterbox with a big massive letter, and someone's trying to jam a massive letter into a small letterbox, and it says me trying to fit a lifetime's worth of trauma into a 1-hour counseling session. That's what I always felt like, and I get goosebumps when I talk about, because that's where heart healing's different. In 1 hour, it's like that letterbox doesn't exist in normal talking therapies. I have found that, you know, when you're like, and what are you here for? And I'm like, well, and this happened, this happened, this, and it's like, how many weeks have we got? Whereas heart healing, you're just like, oh, I'm there. I'm right back where I needed to be, where I didn't even know I needed to be. And that's what the difference is for me. It's like you can fit a lifetime in 1 hour.
Yeah. No, I love that you shared that. I love your analogies that you've been given.
I have to have a visual image.
And I love how it's always memes or something that you're relating to. Maybe you could create some memes for heart healing as well.
I know I should. Maybe I just spend too long on TikTok, Natasha. I need to go to bed early.
Well, thank you for sharing that. And obviously we were at a big milestone for you, but this is also the start of the journey of heart healing as a business for you as well. And there's so much more personal healing to come too. And just finally, if anyone else is watching this and thinking they're interested in potentially training in heart healing, what might you say to them?
I would say, like the same as I would say to somebody going to therapy, be ready for it. And if you're going to take that step, you get out of anything what you put in. So it's like, make sure you're sure and be ready, because it's wonderful, but it's not like a modality where you're just setting it on a page and saying, you know, take this and deliver it into the world. It's so much more than that. And you have to be ready, just like you have to be a client. You need to be ready to give it your all. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. And for anyone who wants to find out more about you and see your amazing memes that you're going to be creating, my new side hustle.
Where can they find out more about you and your heart healing offer?
So it'll be on my Instagram at Carly Rewrite Your Story.
Thank you. So head to Carly's Instagram if you love her energy and would love to experience heart healing with her. You'll see all of her heart healing offers there. And if you are thinking of potentially wanting to train in heart healing and go through the same experience Carly's going through now, we open the certification twice a year, and we are currently enrolling for our September cohort. So just send me a message on Facebook, or email me support@natashabray.co.uk, and we will get more information over to you. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for being here, Carly. Bye for now.
Thank you. Bye-bye.